remember, we will be watching.
Welcome back to Cartridge Based Radio. This is Brad, and I'm once again joined by Donald.
Arg.
And this is episode 3 of our bi-weekly series of Donald Plays Through Far Cry 3. So, why don't you give us the update from Rook Island?
Brad, I met an FBI agent. I have no idea what his name is because I don't care. He's not Dennis. And he was like, hey, have flamethrower. And I was like, yeah, thanks. I'll have flamethrower. He's like, go burn down marijuana. And I'm like, yes, I will join the Reagan administration's war on drugs. So I crossed the island in a hang glider. I was very sad I could not fire the flamethrower from the hang glider.
It would set your glider on fire. It's an aerodynamics issue.
That would be a repercussion. But on the other side, lighting the top of trees on fire would be cool. Because you could just look back at the way you flew and there's this fire scar across the island. You're like, I did that. So I found a marijuana field and I said, I'm going to save the youth of the world from this horrible drug. And I started lighting it on fire. And then a song about burning weed and fighting pirates maybe started playing.
Well, it's definitely a song about fire. That's what I've been able to get out of it.
And then my character Jason got super high.
Yes.
And made it very hard to shoot my bow and arrow.
Why were you using your bow and arrow? You had a flamethrower. The whole point of that stage is you get to light pirates on fire while a song sings about fire.
Well, one of the pirates ran out of the field and up a hill because it's Far Cry and the AI systems tend to break a lot.
Yeah.
So I tried to chase him down and he just started gunning me down like mad. So I got to some cover, pulled out my bow and arrow, and realized you cannot shoot that while you're under the effects of the field you're burning. So one of the last guns I unlocked from unlocking all the towers was this very nasty submachine gun that just shreds everything. And it did good enough with that guy, even though I was swaying, to just rip him to shreds. And then I continued to burn down the fields, and then it asked me to light a boat on fire, and I was so upset when the boat got away before I could light it on fire, but I got to shoot it with a missile.
That's also good.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I found something in Far Cry 3 that's now bugging me.
Alright.
I believe the game should have had a system in place to look at what you've done so far, because I'm really tired of people telling me I have to prove myself. The character arc for my playthrough is as follows. I was in a cage and I was scared, because I was a little fraidy boy man. And then I get out, and my brother gets smoked. And then I stab a dude in the head with a knife. And he's like, that was the moment that the Jason I'm playing comes to life for the very first time. He had been this rich party kid, the black card, all that, just having fun. But when he saw that knife slide into that guy's head, he realized his calling in life was killing. And he went on a horrible murder spree across this island.
Really, if you think about it, Far Cry 3 is sort of like a career simulator. Like, you don't know what you want to do for a living, and then you discover your true natural talents.
Yeah, and I think the game should look at that and respect it. And when you meet, like, the FBI guy, instead of him trying to blow you up, he's like, you need to come talk to me fast because I have so many people on this island I need killed, and you are the correct psychopath for the job. So I am still plugging away. Lately, I've been doing a bulletin board missions where it tells me to go hunt somebody down.
Yeah, it's like the company bulletin board at your office, but it's just full of bounties and stuff. And it's like, kill this guy and get $5,000. And next to that, it's like, and we're having a potluck on Friday, so bring in your favorite dish.
So when I'd liberate an outpost, I'd usually be gone the second that it was liberated.
Yeah.
And I was usually far enough away because I did long distance liberation, that I never heard the people in there talking. I just occasionally see them run each other over with jeeps in the cutscene. And I walked by and one guy's like, "You gotta help us with this board." I was like, "You're having trouble with that board you're staring at?" And I looked at it and it was like, "Go to this part of the island and kill somebody." And I was like, "This is what I'm built for." So I've been doing those. They're very fun. They seem samey.
Yeah.
But stalking through the underbrush, there's something about stalking through the underbrush with your bow and arrow in that game that is just so exciting. And it gives me a break from talking to his friends and characters who are not Dennis.
Yes. It could be that, secretly you're part tiger, so just stalking through the tall grass is very appealing to you. Your allies, the guys in the blue vests that all sound suspiciously like Korg from Thor 3, they have all kinds of stuff that they want you to take care of for them, because, they're just hanging out with Dennis watching, reruns of Cheers. They don't have time to kill wild animals or pirate captains.
Brad, can you blame them? No. Dennis's day must just be so busy because everyone wants to hang with him. And he's so chill he does it. He was probably mad I burnt those fields.
Yeah, that's a real conflict of interest there, really.
I hope next time I see him he just does this 3-minute stare without blinking. I'm sorry, Dennis.
I needed that for my glaucoma.
Besides my high adventures on the island, I played something else. So before we recorded What Did You Play Last Time, I had just started Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I can now report I have finished Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's not a hard game, but it is a super awesome game.
Well, that's good. Every Zelda game seems to have kind of this balance where it's you do the fun part, and then you gotta go do the part that's kind of a pain in the butt. The dungeons are all well, I guess I'm doing this now. And that's me speaking from playing Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time. So is it kind of like that?
So the dungeons in this game are giant walking mechanical monsters that you have to board and assault. I have yet to find an underground dungeon that's the theme of this dungeon is water. There are little shrines you have to go into to get upgrade points, get spirit balls, and you take them to the Temple of Time, and this statue gives you either a heart container or stamina. I poured everything into stamina because I found the combat is not satisfying in any way, shape, or form, mostly because your cool weapons break and then you don't look awesome anymore.
All right, so there's a ringing endorsement for the game right there. The combat is not satisfying because your cool items break and then you don't look cool. There's your back of the box quote.
So I engaged with combat for the creatures in the shrines and the bosses. Other than that, I just wanted to look cool, and I wasn't getting great gear from just random field enemies. So I only attacked things that had gear that I wanted and would replace the cool item I was going to break while fighting them. So I pumped everything into stamina, and I found a maze, and I guess the goal of the maze is to go through all this combat to reach the center. When you've cleared everyone out, it unlocks a shrine. But I have so much stamina, I climbed the wall, got to the top, and on the map you can see the center. So I just ran to the center and glided down and got into the shrine and got the pants that give me an upgrade to attack power.
Ooh, the pantaloons of strength.
I don't know how pants make you stronger. Is there Red Bull in the pockets?
Maybe it's one of those things where it's just you look good, and then you feel good, and then you fight good.
So they're from the Gap.
Yeah.
Oh. My Link is very cool. I have a bandana that looks like a Guns N' Roses Axl kind of thing, and it makes me climb mountains faster, so I'm gonna have to assume it's actually from Axl from Guns N' Roses, because I imagine he's good at climbing mountains.
You have not seen a picture of Axl in about 2 decades, then.
Well, he doesn't wear this one anymore. And that's what happened.
So you're running around in your designer jeans and your 80s headband, and you must just look like you walked right out of a Bruce Springsteen video.
Yes. Sometimes I make him not wear a shirt just so it scares the enemies, because Link is super ripped in this game.
That's the thing we've always been complaining to Nintendo about the Zelda series. It's just like, I mean, it's fun, but it'd be more fun if Link was super jacked.
Yeah. I don't know why Link doesn't talk in this game. That bugs me. Link should talk.
Has Link ever talked in a Zelda game?
No.
I remember Navi talked in Ocarina of Time.
The best thing that the modders for the N64 version of that game ever did was remove Navi's voice files.
See, they should have just changed it to swearing.
No, I think this is the best Zelda game.
Are you saying this game is better than Link to the Past?
Yes.
Original Legend of Zelda for the NES?
Yes.
Ocarina of Time, which everyone loves?
Yes.
Majora's Mask, which apparently everybody not named Brad thought was great.
Majora's Mask is a super bad game.
Okay, so there's two of us that feel that way.
That's why we do this show together. We found out that, and we're like, we need to do a show. No, the world is so big, and there's so much to do. And after I beat it, I was like, well, I beat the story, and that was certainly a thing. But there is a giant swath of land that I have not discovered or explored.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And I immediately reloaded, and it puts you right outside the final boss fight. I don't know why it just doesn't dump you back into the world to let you play. I think it's because of something they give you in the final boss fight that might break everything, so they don't want you to have that in actual play.
Did they just give you a car? Here's a car!
Oh, so in the DLC there's a motorbike?
Of course there is. Is it the one that he rides in Mario Kart?
No, this one looks like it's made of armor. Like, it's got a very Zelda look. Like, if you looked at it, you'd be like, yeah, that's the bike they make in Hyrule.
He just, like, pulls up on a Harley with, like, a skull on top of his head. And he's like, I'm Link.
I'm really hoping you have to go to, like, a new location that they have created in the game where you talk to the Orange County chopper guys.
And they throw chairs at you.
That finally you get your bike and it's really cool, but you don't know how they got the project done because of all this reality TV drama. And then you got your bike. But I'm looking forward to the DLC and seeing every single bit of the world. Horses in Zelda? Can we talk about horses in Zelda for a minute?
Let's talk about horses in Zelda for a minute.
So Ocarina of Time introduced us to Epona.
Yes.
And it drove terribly. That wasn't enjoyable. And then a game called Red Dead Redemption came along and was like, this is how you horse. And everyone was like, we agree, this is how you horse.
That sounds like just the worst dance album of 1997.
And apparently Nintendo never was like, we should try out how these horses are in Red Dead Redemption, because the horse driving in this game is still terrible. Like, they don't even care when you move the camera. The horse doesn't follow when you move the right thumbstick, as things should do in video games. So you look one way and the horse is going the other way, and you're trying to use the left stick, and I think all the horses got into real bad apples in Hyrule and are just drunk. So horse riding is still terrible. So, that is what I did.
Sounds like you had a pretty good couple of weeks then, between your pirating fire adventures and taking care of business in Zelda. Sounds like you had a pretty good time.
I did. What did you get up to?
I went back and I played through XCOM for like the millionth time since that game's come out. This is the 2012 XCOM Enemy Unknown. And I have the expansion, so I was actually playing Enemy Within.
I prefer Enemy Within.
To the non-expansion or to XCOM 2?
To the non-expansion.
Yeah, Enemy Within adds some nice touches. I have all the DLC, like I got it in a bundle, so I'm not sure if, I might be giving credit to Enemy Within for something that was like a $3 character pack or something, but, like there's a lot of customization options that you get that are nice. And then the little quest that you get isn't bad, and it comes with one of, if you're not ready for it, it's one of the hardest missions in the game.
So, I think the changing color armor, like they added more armor colors.
I think they added hairstyles too, and little touches like that.
I had it on Xbox 360, and it came with the the hair and the armor pack because I pre-ordered, and then I got it for PS3, and then it was in a Humble bundle, and I did not know how much DLC that game had until I got that bundle because it said with all DLC, and yeah, they added a lot. That one mission where you got to rescue that guy.
Yeah, that one's tricky. The one, if you're not ready for it, is really difficult. This one where they invade your base. And the first time I played through that, I had like 2 guys in the hospital, 2 guys like getting like gene modifications. And it's just like, here's all your like middle of the pack troops. Try to defend against this huge invasion. Oh, also, they don't have any other weapons or armor right now because you stripped it all and put it on the other guys. So they have the basic uniforms and weapons, and your base is under attack, so good luck with that. The customizations in this game are great because, like, I went into a battle, and my force was, like, Harley Quinn, Sarah Palin, John Cena, and Dick Tracy, like, all running into battle.
Brad, you're a huge cheater in XCOM.
Because I had John Cena with the ghost armor?
Yeah, I mean, you take an invisible person into battle, that's not fair to the aliens. Just suddenly he waves his hand in front of his face and they're like, jeez! And then you fire the shotgun at point blank and it's like 3% chance of hitting. And you're like, come on, XCOM.
It's like I have to actually go out of my way to miss this alien, but I'm going to. I turned around and turned my back on him just so I could miss.
I unloaded my shotgun before I pulled the trigger.
You know, last week we got into a discussion about economics a little bit when I was talking about the law of diminishing Mega Man utility. There's an economics aspect to XCOM as well, in that your motivations for beating the game don't really work with like what would be most lucrative for you, because like if you haven't played the game, you're not like the army. You're like this separate militaristic paramilitary branch that's funded by all these sponsor countries, and they give you money to stop the alien invasions.
You're basically a violent nonprofit.
Pretty much, yeah. But you get near the end of the game, and there comes a point where you've really turned the tide, and you've got the aliens under control, and that's when you're supposed to go do the final mission and win the game. Gameplay-wise, that makes sense. Economically, these nations keep giving you money every month until the problem is eliminated, and they're happy as long as like nobody's being abducted or anything. So economically, it makes the most sense to let this war go on forever. Like, you have all these soldiers that, you know, are relying on this paycheck. You got all this cool equipment. It's kind of an insight into, like, you know, the military-industrial complex and, you know, perpetual warfare.
What bothered me about how that game ends is you can do what you say, just, you know, you win. And then you start XCOM 2 and it instant's like, nope, you lost.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? Did you check my save file? I'm a multi-trillionaire.
Yeah, I was killing it. We did not lose. That is a trope that just in general with games, I really have a problem with, is this whole, like, you're awesome until they take control away from you, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, the aliens win the invasion, or if it's a different game, you get captured by, like, a normal guy, or Mass Effect has one part where, like, I think it was Mass Effect 3, like, you're just, like, kicking everybody's butt, and then all of a sudden, like, there's a cutscene, and you just, like, get destroyed and everything, and it's like, oh, come on, you know, leave the controller in my hands, I'm unstoppable.
So, that trope actually made me stop the video game Horizon Zero Dawn. There's a part where there's an ambush.
Yeah.
And you survive, and your mission is to, you know, end the ambush. And I systematically took apart these guys, and they never knew where I was. I stealthed my way through this, and just bow and arrow and head shot. And I get done, and suddenly you're standing in the middle of a field, and a giant guy knocks you down and starts beating on you. And I was like, really? This is this is how you're gonna take away the control and be like, haha, we beat you.
You know, to circle it all the way back to where we started, Far Cry 3 is going to do that to you a couple of times. Like, you get captured like every other mission, and it's always just like, oh, you didn't expect this.
Oh, yeah, I got captured, and then there was a burning house.
It'll happen again, and one more time after that.
Anyway, aliens. Can I ask a question? What XCOM number playthrough is this for you?
Oh, boy, if I count the PC and console versions, I don't even know. Somewhere between 5 and 10.
And how much do you hate the boat mission?
It's not great. The first time I played that mission, I lost John Cena. So that was kind of a bummer. I managed to get everybody out alive this last time.
The first time I ever played that XCOM game, that was my first team wipe. And I was mad.
Yeah, understandably. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up our show. For those of you who enjoyed this and want to help us out, please tell a friend. Rate, review, subscribe. But definitely get that word of mouth going. If you're burning down a pot field on a tropical island, maybe, leave a calling card with the name of the show on it. Another thing you can do to help us out is just go to a restaurant, and when they ask you what you want, say, I want you to subscribe to Cartridge Based Radio, and then we'll have a waiter who listens to our show, and that'd be pretty cool.
Or very confused.
Possibly very confusing. So that's 2 ways you could help support the show, in addition to just the usual word of mouth. And we would really appreciate that.
We would.
But that's going to do it for this week, and next week we'll have our regular show, and we'll be talking about the Sega Genesis collection, I believe.
We are.
So that's going to be pretty exciting. So stay tuned for that. And we'll catch you then.